So today, or this week, I've been getting a lot of information about cleaning out the third eye. And there's already a third eye connects to the gut meditation that we did a couple weeks ago that's on the YouTube channel if you want to do that one too. But this one is more specific about clearing. And Archangel Raphael in the third eye, when it's vibrating at the fifth dimension, is more clear and it has a tinge of green to it. I know that we're taught in yoga that it has different color, that it's more of like a indigo. But that's what I am learning about when that chakra starts vibrating to the dimensions of the fifth dimension, then it shifts colors. So Archangel Raphael is going to help us to clean this out. And also the squirrel from, I wanted an animal too, the squirrel. See, he's got this big bright third eye and this Kundalini energy that's rising from it. And so we will work with these two to help us clean them out in some very specific techniques. And I just wanted to read a tiny bit before we start about Raphael. It says he is known as the angel of healing, for he can transmute the density in your mental and emotional bodies so that the physical can become divinely healthy. So that's going to be what we're going to be working on today with that. And also so that you can find, and what the squirrel helps us learn to do is to find a different solution to their problems. You know, there, especially right now, if you're in the northern hemisphere, in the Midwest, and we've got the snow all over, and they have to really solve some problems to find some food. So they are, and they use these different dimensions to help them solve these problems. So we're going to clean and clear that out. And these cards, by the way, are from Diana Cooper. One is the Archangel deck and one is the Archangel Animal deck. Okay, so let us, and we have the bunny rabbit on my shirt to also help us. So let's begin. With your spine straight, whether you're seated or lying down, doesn't matter. Actually, it'd probably be better with this one if you're seated, but it's fine if you're lying down. Just so we can begin to get that energy coming up from the center of the earth in sort of like that Kundalini fashion. It kind of makes these infinity symbols and crosses over each other all the way up. So just see if you can envision or imagine or feel that kind of energy crossing and coming back together, going apart, coming back together in sort of this Kundalini infinity pattern from the center of the earth up to your base chakra, to right where your sit bones are seated. So first, just making that connection. Base of the earth, center of the earth to your base chakra. And breathe. And then as you're getting a good sense of that lift, then begin to lift that energy from your base chakra up to your third eye in that same pattern, that kind of infinity, figure eight, continuous motion up. And then open the crown chakra at the top of your head. We'll just ask for Archangel Raphael's in charge of that one to open. It's a 1,000-petal lotus open those 1,000 petals and let the light come in from above, from source, into the third eye. So that we're feeding the light from the core of the earth and from source into the third eye. And it's not just in the forehead, it's in the center of the head, also known as the pineal gland. So stay with that image of receiving light from both ends into the third eye. So that's happening. Now we're going to work a little bit with a breathing technique that helps to clear the third eye. So I learned this from the Himalayan Institute course. And it's pretty simple. And it also is a technique that's also used by many other Vipassana meditation also uses a similar technique to this. So it's very simple, just breathing in, getting a sense of the physicality of where your nostrils are, your nose cavity, your sinus channels. And we're breathing in the physical air, the oxygen, through the nostrils and the channels of the nose up to the third eye with the inhale, and back out the same channel with the exhale. So it's a very small, specific focus. So let yourself feel the air coming in through the nostrils, up through the sinus cavity to the third eye, and then back out. And let's do 6 breaths like this. And when you finish the 6 breaths, just come to your normal breathing again, with your focus on the third eye and the feeling now. After doing those 6 breaths, we're doing 6 because the third eye is also associated with letting in the vision. This has nothing to do with religion, the Christ vision, the compassion, the love. And the 33 is associated with the number 33. 33 is associated with that vibration of the compassionate Christ-like love. And so we're just doing 3 plus 3, 6. And then we'll do 6 more, but then I'm going to demonstrate also, we're going to do breath of fire and pull the breath up into our third eye after our next cycle of 6 breaths. So I'll demonstrate the breath of fire. It's just basically and your belly is really moving quickly, and it's not that you're just kind of pushing it in on the exhale and just allowing the inhale to come in. And while we are doing that, yes, the belly's moving, but get that focus again on that breath in and out of the nasal cavity. So let's just do the breath of fire right now, and then we'll do the full cycle of the 6 slow breaths and then the breath of fire. So just a quick or an easy inhale, and then exhale. Let the inhale come in and begin. Let it go. So we'll do 12 in the cycle. So we'll do 6 of the slower, 12 of the faster now. And you might notice, like I did with me, when you begin to do the breath of fire and you're focusing on your nasal cavity, it gets a little more nasal sounding than the ujjayi breathing, if you know the yoga ujjayi breathing. So let's begin remembering that connection, center of the earth and source, light into the third eye. And then just the easy breathing through the nose, in through the nostrils, up to the third eye, and back out 6 times. And then 12 of the breath of fire. So inhale, exhale, inhale, and begin. And let it go. So we might not have gotten the numbers right together because we all do different paces of things. But if you're doing this, if you want to continue to do this on your own, it's 6 in, and that's to ignite. You can do it with more. It doesn't really matter how many times you do it, but the number, the count, but it's with the 6 number and the 12 number, which are derivatives of the 3, call in that compassion, the Christ-like light. So we'll ask Raphael to help open us now that we've cleared out some of the physical aspects of that on this one final round, to help us open to that compassionate, loving light in the third eye. So beginning with your 6, and you can begin this, you don't have to wait for me. If you get done with your 6 and you want to do the breath of fire, go ahead. In through the nostrils, up to the third eye, and back out. And then breath of fire, if you haven't begun already. Inhale into the third eye when you've completed. Just a big inhale into the third eye and hold it there for a count of 3. And exhale. And then bring yourself back to your natural rhythm of breath. Still bringing your focus to the third eye as you find your natural breathing. And then we're going to do some pressure points to help us open the nasal passage a little bit more so that when we breathe throughout the day, we're still feeding that third eye and cleaning and clearing it out. So you can open your eyes for this one because you're going to have to see what I'm doing. So first we just want to energize our hands. And what I do is the same thing that we just did with the third eye before we started the exercises, where you draw the light in from below, center of the earth and above into your hands. And then just envisioning the light of source from your breath flowing into your hands. And then take your first two fingers and just trace from the sides of your nose over until you find that cheekbone, and it's right below the cheekbone. It's going to separate your nostrils a little bit. Yeah, it looks pretty funny. Yeah. Okay, and what I do here is just, and it's recommended, this comes from a woman named Masami Kovi, and it's recommended for 30 seconds that we breathe here. So I usually do 6 breaths here too. 6 slow breaths. And then once you're done, release. Bring your breath to its normal place. Noticing any changes, any feelings with the opened nasal passage. And then we'll do one more for the open nasal passage. And this one's a little bit different. So you take the thumb and the forefinger, doesn't matter which hand, and do the same thing where you're opening. But so you take the other hand now, and it's kind of like a pinch right in the middle, a little higher than the middle of the nose, and you're lifting it up. So you're pulling apart on the bottom and lifting up on the top. And then we'll do 6 breaths here. And then I usually flick that energy off now. And then just pause and feel. The open nasal cavity may encourage you to breathe a little more deeply. Just notice that. And keeping your focus on the physical area of the third eye. We'll ask for the help of Archangel Raphael and the spirit of the squirrel to use this Kundalini energy that we brought into the third eye to help us find a different sort of solution. A problem may come to mind, or you may just ask for the general shift in how you approach quote unquote problems. So we're going to ask for our body to signal us when we feel challenged to open this third eye in the way that we just did. You may do all the physical things, or you may just command it to open, because we did all that so we could get the feeling of it now. So open the third eye and allow us to view problems, challenges from this point of view, from this clear and cleansed third eye. Seeing ourselves operating with this chakra completely open to the energy of source and to the energy from the center of the earth. And we're going to beam that energy out and create a little bubble around us that is composed of this vibration of this fifth dimensional clear light with a tinge of green. This bubble around us will help us to recognize when something of a different vibration has come in, something that does not match this vibration. And we'll just ask it to let us know when that happens and bring us back to the vibration of this fifth dimension. So right now, for instance, there's a lot of fear that you might feel when you see something on the news or watch something on the media, or just when you're in a crowd of people. There's a lot of third dimensional fear right now that is very strong on the earth. And what is happening is these people are looking for what we just did, opening to the fifth vibration, but not finding that avenue yet. So when we stand strong with this vibration surrounding us, it helps them to find this for themselves. So we are being an ambassador for this fifth dimensional light of love and compassion, with our third eye wide open, seeing the world from this place of love and compassion, solving problems, challenges through love and compassion, and encouraging anyone that we come in contact with, physically, energetically, emotionally. Just have a few more breaths, sealing in this fifth dimensional bubble around us, making it very strong so that if anything from the third dimension tries to enter, it can also, maybe we're not even aware of it and it just bounces because it bounces right off us. So it's a sense of safety. It's a sense of higher wisdom, of knowing. The strength of love and compassion. And the more that we can cultivate this feeling and surround ourselves with this bubble, the more, if we step down from this place, or if we step out of this place and into the fear, can recognize it very quickly and come back. So practice this as much as you can, noticing when you've taken on something else or generated a different vibration that doesn't match this one, then just signal yourself to come back. And let's open our eyes and bring this vibration into the room that we're in. And just sending that energy from the third eye through the eyes to see it in our environment as we look out onto our day. Letting our palms come together, touching our heart with our thumbs and reaching the fingers out into the room and further into your community. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here, and have a lovely, lovely day, and namaste.